Hello, and this is Zen again. I say again, it's because I recorded this last Tuesday, and unfortunately Cam Studio decided to crash and lost all the footage, so I'm just here redoing it. Good news is I've got a new microphone, should be a bit clearer, I hope. So the last few weeks has been working with Zen. Not too many major changes, it's all done really. I was messing around with some of the finer points, which include these little zappers here. The original Zen, Gordon could get zapped by these, well, whatever they were, and I was messing around trying to implement them. You can see it's quite a lot of logic going on, just for something seemingly so simple. It would be much easier to do this in code, but with the Hammer editor you have to use all these separate logic gates and relays to get it working just the way you want. One of the problems I had with it was getting stuck on, and that actually turns out to be a slight, well, it's just the way the trigger multiple works, the actual code behind it. You can actually look at the source code if you like by creating a new source mod, and you can get to see how Valve implemented certain functions and things in the actual source engine. So I'm going to go around Zen and explain a few things. Now, one of the initial problems I had when trying to create this map was how to get the players down from the starting point, which is way up here, and you need to get way down there. It's a couple of thousand units and quite a long trek. Initially I had the idea to teleport between these islands up here and then down onto here, but with the AI and just the way Left 4 Dead works, I didn't want to have too much of the teleportation going on for the players. It just sort of interrupts the gameplay. Bit of a night. Oh, here we go. Spinning camera. This is a Hammer bug. For some reason it gets stuck spinning around at times. It only seems to happen when I'm recording, which is even more annoying. I really hope it stops in a second. Anyway, so there was just try and ignore it. Thank you. The second method I come up with was to have these platforms here, have the players stand on the platforms and use them as an elevator just to come down from here down to here. It's still got the same problem, it interrupts the flow, and you're just standing there wasting too much time. This is sort of like the most recent solution, which is to have a straight run towards the main body of Zen by using human junk and Detritus. The idea being that the portals created by the accident was drawing all these cargo containers and boxes and things towards Zen, and quite conveniently creating a nice neat path for all the players to run down, which is handy. The another problem I had with Zen, well, yeah, so that was working okay, but I really didn't like the elevator. So quite late on in the going, I come up with this this gate solution, which is you might remember a TV show or film called Stargate. Well, it's the same thing. It looks pretty much like the water effect on the event horizon, and you step from one place into another. So of course you've got portal, and this is actually like a remix of all the all the maps that you've played through so far in this campaign. So you go through Surface, Office, Shafted, what was the other one called? I've forgotten now. Point Insert, that's the other one. And this is getting really annoying. No, I think I might stop. I might pause. Oh, okay. So you move through the level. You're going through the old parts of Black Mesa, and jumping from one zone through the gates to another. I actually quite like that idea. Now I'm going to pause it here and see if I can fix that annoying bug. Right, let's hope that doesn't happen again. It probably will, but whatever. Now I've got to get back to the main part of Xen. Okay, here we go. So you want to do a remix of the old facility, and you come out here, which is near the main body of Xen, and you can just walk across the broken spear thing to the main area. Which is up here. And then this is where you make your last stand up here. A tank comes, you got some ammo lying around, and you can run about. And here, eventually, this rock, which is rotating around the main body, will stop here and create a platform for the players just to walk along, so they can get down to this bottom section here. You can then run around either side, being chased or what have you, to the entrance to the interior. This is actually the healing pool. This actually does work as a healing pool, so players and the infected can stand here and get a nice heal. It's only very minor, so it's -2. This is actually a trigger hurt, but luckily it can take negative numbers, so it actually heals the players and other objects. And once the second tank has been killed, this blows up and the players can get into the interior, until they can get into another portal and escape for a second time. This is actually set up as a finale. I was going to have the players continue from the final map with the exploding core, the experimental core room. But to do something a bit different, I made the finales optional. So from Point Insert, you can come to this map, or you can go to the core. It's set up as random, although you can change it if you want to. It's sort of a hidden Easter egg. One of the consequences of the creating the extra geometry, which goes outside the main skybox here, is that the skybox doesn't work properly when it's surrounding these, when you have something cutting through it. It's to do with the way the skybox texture is actually drawn. It's special. It's not drawn the same as the other textures. It's actually designed to be drawn first. Is it first? Yes, it's drawn first, which means everything else is drawn on top. And when you have geometry poking through it, the stuff behind it actually is drawn on top of it, and that looks really. It doesn't look good. It messes up the whole illusion of being in space. Although the stars in the background did look very good. So the compromise I made was just to have the whole lot black, because its space is mostly dark anyway, so the illusion is sort of maintained. It's a compromise, but it will do. These zappers here that I was debugging earlier, that I mentioned, when you're debugging stuff, it can take, or especially when you're debugging logic. Just click on this. There we go, logic. Complicated logic. It doesn't always go smoothly. You often have to recompile it several times over. These zappers, I was actually working on them for about 6 hours total over a couple of days. And when you're continually recompiling logic like this, the last thing you want to do is wait while your main map loads. So something I usually do is to work on a debugging map, or something very simple. You can see it's nothing much in here, just all little bits and pieces that I test, ideas I try out, and this just speeds up the workflow. I can debug the whole structure much quicker here, because the compile time for a complicated map could be 30 seconds to a minute, and it doesn't sound long, but when you're continually doing that time and time again, it starts to get on your nerves. So I just step into this map, which takes 2 seconds to compile, just to get the job done a bit faster. I also play tested this map a few times. I haven't recorded that or videoed it. One of the things I decided to do from the results of that was to add these containers here, which just gives the infected another ambush point. And at the back, we've got the little green sprites, which represent portals. So and the navigation mesh down here is marked as not clearable, which means you can continually be attacked as long as you can't see into there. So the surviving team has to be a bit more on guard through this section. This map also has a custom soundscape. Soundscapes they're just a collection of sounds or noises that continually play in the background of the map. Can I find it? What's this one here? Oh, that's the gate sound. Okay. There's a couple near the main body. The soundscapes, yeah, they're a collection of sounds. And for this map, I took them from the original Half-Life map and mixed them together. So you've got the strange alien wind sounds going off in the background, as long as some of the other spaceship sounds. It's very hard to hear them though. They tend to be quite quiet with the gunfire and the music and the zombies. You tend not to hear this, although I think it was worth doing just for the learning experience. Right, I think that's it. I'll be doing more play testing on this map, making sure it's and that'll be that. After this, that'll be all 6 maps complete, and it'll be a case of putting them all together inside a single file or a single compressed folder testing out the whole campaign, make sure it's all working, and then it'll be on to release. Hopefully not long to go now. Goodbye.